Going live. I love watching. We get to watch this little button that goes like, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. You're live. Here we are. Here we are. I'm so excited. I have two of my incredible clients here. These guys are just absolute bloody superstars. We have Makhosi and Eesha with us today, guys. And I'm just going to spend about 2 seconds just reading their actual bios for you because they're just super impressive. And so I want to make sure that I do them justice rather than me just going, I'm a super fan. These incredible women are incredible. Okay. Eesha Patel is an international channeler, speaker, healer, and spiritual mentor to world-class coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs who are here to serve humanity and raise the vibration of the planet. Over the last 5 years, she has helped countless people to become leaders in the spectrum of frequencies available in this planetary ascension. She is the founder of Origin Activation, a powerful, multi-dimensional and energetic healing modality which can unlock limitless lifts in frequency, causing spontaneous healing. And I have seen it for myself. She is absolutely world class. All right. And Makhosi, the royal shaman, is also here, a pioneer in the domain of personal development and energetic alignment, a fully initiated Zulu shaman through her groundbreaking modality, the energetics of euphoria. Makhosi teaches her clients how to ground themselves in a state of euphoria to amplify their success and fuel extraordinary growth. Marrying fundamental spiritual truths with absolute business mastery, Makhosi guides feminine entrepreneurs and leaders to achieve a state of limitless potential and to truly step into their queendom. So please join me in welcoming these two incredible women, entrepreneurs and mavericks, to the stage. Hi, Makhosi. Hi, Eesha.
Hey. Hey, I feel like I just got the best intro ever. Like, we're amazing.
Definitely.
You guys are just changing the world. It's so good. And so the idea of today is to do a bit of a Q&A with you both, because you're both working with your absolute ideal clients, right? And you are working with dream people that probably 5 years ago, they were just a dream to work with, and you are doing it. You are actually doing it. You've both got wait lists of people wanting to work with you. And so what we did is our head of coaching, Anne, the incredible Anne, went ahead and asked some of our clients, what are some of the questions that they would love to ask two of our huge success stories, people who are changing the world and actually working with dream people? What would they like to know? So I'm going to start by asking this question, which I think is it's really, really important. So what was the thing when you think about working with these dream clients? People get really caught up in this idea of, I've never done this before, and there's this kind of, there was a shift for you that went from, I've never done this before, to, oh shit, I've done it. What would you say? Because you're both really in the mindset, right? You both deal with energy, you both deal with mindset. What was the shift? What was the thing, if you could try and clearly articulate, that took you from, I want to do it, to, oh shit, I've done this?
Oh, I think I don't think we need to overcomplicate this one. I think you just have to do the thing. I feel like the missing step in between is just doing the thing, and I don't think there's a roundabout way that you can get it done other than getting on that phone and asking for that 100K. Because if you don't ask for it, you're not ever going to receive that.
That's so
Makhosi,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. I think the big shift for me was really, instead of looking at what is it that people are telling me that they want, I tapped into what is the most incredible thing that I think that I could support someone with, that would really light me up, that would feel euphoric, and who would value that the most. And when I got to that answer, it was very clear that I had a 100K offer. It was like, yeah, duh, that's worth 10, 20, 30 times 100K. And so then it was just, all right, it exists now, I offer it.
Yeah, and I think adding to that as well, you know, because we both do work in the energetic space. For me, I read the energy of the business. So for me, before, like months before I even came to Kathryn, I knew that I had to launch a 100K offer. It was something that was just obvious. It was just the next step for me. So when I did come to Kathryn, it was more just a case of how are we going to do this? Not if. It wasn't like, is it worth it? It was just, I have a 100K offer sitting there in my field. I could already see it. I could already feel it. It was already there. And then it was like, cool, how do we bring this to life? And then that was the practical steps of then going, okay, cool, we need to find the ideal clients. And then we need to get on the phone calls and apply a little bit of magic, which in my story, I brought on the first person from the first round of hyper targeting that went out, you know, so there's definitely an element of, you know, energetics and manifesting in this that I use as well, combined with the strategy. And then my first actually 100K client was a few months ago, happened to be in Uluru at the time. And so I got on this phone call and I just said, look, you know, this is the investment after a couple of calls, obviously, you know, getting to know this person and what she wanted to do. And then, yeah, just made the offer and she said yes. And it was literally the first person that came out of the pile of people that we'd selected. So it was like, cool, done and dusted, you know, no time wasted. It was already there for months in the ether. And then boom, it just happened.
I think, Makhosi, you've got a similar story as well, don't you? So do you mind taking us through how that first one manifested for you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So well, actually, which session are we talking about? Because
So many.
There was pre-working with Business Bravery, and then there was, I mean, things have been so amazing since working with Business Bravery. But I will specifically talk about the one, as you know, that came out as we were working together, and it was in that first round of hyper targeting that we did, that she literally sent a picture and was like, oh my gosh, this is some serious magic, because I've been thinking about reaching out to you to work with you for months. And like Eesha says, I mean, both of us we're in energetics. So whenever I sit to do that hyper targeting, it's really connecting with the energy of who that person is and what it is that they truly need, not what I think that they need, but really feeling into and tapping into that. And it resonated. It was like, she was like, oh my gosh, it's like you read my life.
Yeah. And I feel that from both of you. And one of the things that I think has made you both so successful with hyper targeting is that deep knowledge of your ideal client. So I know you've got, you know, it's your secret sauce, energetics, and what you both do, but can you describe a little bit the process that you would go through to identify who is that person who really, truly, deeply needs you and needs the transformation that you have on your fingertips?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll dive in on this one.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah. One of the things that I do is, first, I'm really just trying to connect with the energy of the type of person, because there are, you know, there's the exact person, and then there are also people who are in energetics, as we would say, on the same frequency, or they're having similar experiences and they think in a similar way, and so on and so forth. The beauty of the internet now is that you can find so much information about people. And this is not a creepy thing. It really is just caring about. And so I spent time listening to podcast interviews of the kinds of people that I knew I could help, or had already gone through the kind of transformation that I facilitate, and listened to where they were, what they were feeling, what was going on, what was showing up in their actual life, and then where they ended up. And that gave me kind of that baseline, or that framework, to see, okay, there are for sure others like that. And when you're talking about luxury, you're talking about yes, not everyone is a celebrity in the luxury space. So also just being mindful that there are a lot of people who are not quote unquote famous who still definitely need your help and are absolutely more than willing. In fact, the fact that you charge 100K, I had a client who was like, the fact that you charged 100K made me feel so confident and happy that, okay, now I can invest in working with someone who is a healer who really values what she does, because so many people do not actually value what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I love that strategy, Makhosi, and mine was a little bit more, I guess, in the quantum side of things when I first started. My research was actually sitting in meditation and going, who are the souls that actually need me? So for me, I just opened up this container and I just saw them. You know, they appeared to me like little balls of light coming in, and I just sent this frequency because it started off with me actually saying, I'm ready. So I said to the universe, I'm ready to do this for people. And then I put that frequency out, and then I just said, who's going to be attracted to that? And so I just called them in. I just said, look, whoever these people are, I'm ready for you. And then I asked them how I needed to show up so that they could come into that container. So yeah, I really created everything in the energetics first, and then it was just a few actions here and there to really magnetize that.
Yeah, I love that, guys. And that's such a perfect segue. I hope you guys are listening really hard here, because what Makhosi and Eesha is saying is absolute gold. They deeply understand who they want to work with and who's going to light them up, right? They deeply understand that. So that is so, so important. Please hear that and really focus on that. That's very, very important. They also know what they're best in the world at, very confidently. Now, segue to the next question that Anne has asked, or that our clients have asked, is, so our hyper-targeting strategy really does include a lot of networking and engagement and those sorts of things. But a lot of our clients don't necessarily love the idea of getting out there and, I don't know, getting on the phone. They see that as you know, quite icky. And they'd prefer to magnetize their clients. So you guys have experimented with different ways of doing this. How would you relate those two things? Do you do both? Which strategy has worked best for you?
I've definitely done both. And I know, Kathryn, when I first came to you, so the Business Bravery team asked me to be brave when I first signed up. And I was definitely more on the spectrum of, I'm just going to magnetize everything. And it is a superpower of mine. I am very good at that, I will say. But there was also room for expansion in that. So when I first joined the team, they asked me to go and send gifts to people, and I flipped out. Like, my mindset was all over the place. I was like, I can't do this. I felt like I was being too salesy. Like, it was just, yeah, like all my stuff came up, because then underneath that there was, you know, a lot of stuff around what if they say no. It was rejection, abandonment, etc., etc. Anyway, I had to get out of my own way and to really just come into, hang on, what is my big vision and mission here? Because if my mission here, yeah, it was fun, Gary, my big mission here is to help these people. And so there was one particular client who a year before had already said to me, Eesha, I'd love to work with you, had already said that she wanted to work with me at a higher level. And I never reached out to her. And so I reached out to this client, sent a gift, and lo and behold, she signed up to work with me. In fact, she was thrilled. She was like, oh, I'm so grateful that you reached out to me, because I've been wanting to work with you for ages. And I was like, why didn't I do this like a year ago? So I've definitely learned now to adopt both strategies, because not everyone, I've learned, actually will take that first step. So sometimes you have to be the one to take that first step. So if you identify someone as someone that you really want to work with, you can be brave enough to take that first step and then let them make the choice whether or not, you know, it's right for them as well, instead of assuming on their part if they haven't first reached out.
Oh, that's so juicy. That was so good, Eesha. Yeah, I definitely do both. I think the key piece in people reaching out and they feel like, oh, I don't want to reach out because it might feel icky and blah, 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 blah. I really think that there just needs to be a perspective shift there. And I look at it as if like, I have this incredible, like flourless, decadent fudge chocolate cake that is the potential of what their life could be, right? And like, what a bitch I would be if I just like didn't offer them some of that cake, right? So when you approach it from this perspective of, listen, number one, I never need a client, period. Like worst case scenario, I could always find something else to do, right? So it's the energy that you come with when you are approaching someone, that you're not coming from a place of, oh my gosh, I need clients, push, 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 push. But rather, I have this incredible decadent cake that is potentially your life. Would you like a slice? And if they say no, because maybe they're on a diet, I don't know, then that's on them, right? But it really can be both, because like Eesha said, not everyone, especially when you are dealing at the luxury end, a lot of them are not scrolling Facebook all day. A lot of them are not everywhere all the time and just seeing what you're doing. And so sometimes it does take a little bit of that, just being insightful and like following your intuition. And oh my gosh, this person, I can just see this incredible potential, and I think we would make magic together.
It's so beautiful. I love that analogy. And now I'm hungry. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, same.
That's so good. Yeah, but if I can just add just a slice of my own flavor to this. Makhosi and Eesha are so bloody right about this. So when you have the mindset right and you step into any conversation, knowing that it is a privilege to offer that person a chance to work with you, everything changes. Everything changes. Okay, so it's a privilege for them to work with you because you know you're going to transform their life. When you know that what you do is going to change someone's life, everything changes. Okay, so that's a deep level of confidence that Makhosi and Eesha are talking about here. That's just incredible. All right, another one of Anne's questions that she got from our Inner Circle group, which is a really cool one, is many people who are new to our work can't imagine who these 100K clients are, and they think of them a bit like mythical creatures that exist somewhere out there in the ether. I was wondering if you could tell us your journey from, I can't imagine who could possibly pay me that, to actually receiving the money in the bank, and what it felt like to receive that money for the first time, and now what that looks like. So Makhosi, do you want to lead us off on this one?
Yeah. Well, I will just like be flat out and honest. My first attempt at this was actually a 56K offer, if we have to be technical about it. So I went 56 and then like 98 and then 120 and on. And now multiple six figures. But I think first, one of the things that I heard you say that just made it like such a kind of duh moment for me was that, number one, it doesn't even have to be all up front. It could, right? That's a possibility, but it doesn't have to be all up front. The other aspect, because again, I deal in energetics, is your ego aspect needs evidence that it is possible. And so, yes, you have case studies, but you can search and see what companies are paying for certain things. Or, I mean, I've seen coaches who are relatively unknown who charge $1 million a year. They do exist out there. And so looking at, well, number one, especially for what many of us do, It isn't necessarily going to have to happen in a short period of time. Maybe it does. And then for many of us, like our clients, they do, maybe it's like a monthly retainer. And so if you have a client that's 100K and they're paying you what, 8,500 a month for your services. And then I look at also, because for me, everything is really relational. I ground it into what is likely to come out of that experience. And so charging 100K for someone who is investment minded, they're thinking, oh, well, I'm going to get probably about $1 million worth, right? 10x. I'm going to get about $1 million worth. If it's not money, hint here at the luxury end, they care about time more than the money. The time is so crucial, and life and experience. So finding that evidence wherever you can look, like explore salaries of executive coaches if you need to. And then always keep in mind that just because you haven't seen it does not mean that it's not real. You just have to look for where it's real and it becomes real.
I love that. Find the evidence. Eesha, your experience with this, your journey?
Mine was also a 55K offer when I first started. I was like, yay, Makhosi. I think, guys, it's important to know that there are stepping stones. I've had several stepping stones along the way. I didn't just go from 0 to 100. I went from 0 to 55. And then actually the next, I think 3 people, I charged them 10K per month, which would have been 120K, but they only signed up for 3 months. And that was my choice. So I had a couple of steps along the way before I actually got to that offer level. And I think it's important to know that, there is an element of seeking evidence. And also, I think you really touched on something important there, Makhosi, is like, we can create it, even if it isn't evident out there in the market. Who's saying that you can't be the first? And I loved your example this morning, Kathryn, with Elon Musk. He's literally taking us to Mars. Like, what if we can be the rocket ship to Mars in the entire industry? I thought actually it was a relief that I didn't have to be the rocket ship when I discovered that other spiritual healers were charging 100K, because I thought I'd have to build that rocket ship and then realize I didn't have to. So the fact that, we're all here in this space today means the rocket ship was already built. We just have to take the shuttle to Mars now. It's actually easier than having to build it from scratch.
Ooh,
Love
can
that.
I add one more piece to that? Because Eesha's all lit up now.
Elon's my favorite. I'm a super
fan.
Yeah.
The other piece as well that I really love to do. So before I actually entered into luxury, I studied luxury marketing just because I'm fascinated with marketing. And one of the things that I love to do is to borrow from other industries. You don't have to say, oh, well, in my industry, no one's doing XYZ, but like, what about this industry over there? And you can copy some of the marketing, some of the positioning, some of the structuring, and so on and so forth, if it's an alignment for you. But yeah, who says that we have to just stick in this box that I don't know who made up, that isn't necessarily even serving us or our potential clients?
Yes, I love that. That's so perfect. So perfect. And this is extreme pioneering. Eesha and Makhosi are both extreme pioneering. So that's what this is all about, which gives me a really cool segue to another question that one of our clients would like to ask you, incredible ladies. So you work in a very niche space, or niche space, depending on how you pronounce that. Were you ever worried this was too niche? And how did you leverage this and use it to your advantage?
Yeah, I definitely have had that thought cross my mind many times. I don't know a single person on this planet who's offering what I'm offering. And at times I thought, oh, maybe that's going to be my downfall. And then I realized that actually that was my selling point, because it was so unique that the transformation that I offer, they can't get it with anyone else. And so then I actually had the light bulb moment where I was like, I can charge whatever I want for this, because it's so exclusive that, it's just, there's no competition in my market.
Completely. Category of one, girl. Category of one. Makhosi?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a similar thing for me. Listen, when I started, true story, my very first like official offer in this space that I put out, I charged $97 a month for. $97. And it was hard to sell that $97. It was so hard to sell it.
What a bargain they got. What a bargain.
Listen, they had no idea what they were getting for 97. But what I think I was listening to, what's the book? The Blue Ocean. I was listening to The Blue Ocean on Audible, the audiobook. And I realized, wait a minute, what I am actually offering. I had a little moment with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I realized, wait a minute, what I'm actually doing, what I'm actually here to offer to the world is up here in that little tiny 2%, 1% that I'm like, wait, there's no one else that is really offering this and also coming from, I mean, I'm an initiated shaman in South Africa. I've got a background in business. Like, who is doing that, right? So I think that if you can niche down, that's amazing. But what I've actually found is I don't feel like I'm niching down. I just feel like I'm just like creating an entire niche of my own instead of trying to like fit into ones. I'm just making this up as I go.
Yeah.
Actually, Russell Brunson talks about this quite a bit. He talks about the ocean, got all the sharks in the ocean, and then he says the same thing. He says you just create your own one, and that's the best way to be an expert in your niche, because you've just made your own niche. And so, you're the king of that ocean as far as anyone else is concerned.
Absolutely. Yeah. Category of one, right? Go ahead and make the magic happen, which you both have. Okay, I have a great question here about offering. So, and this is great, again, perfect segue from the $97 example, Makhosi, that you just gave. What changed in the offering from what you used to do to what you offer now?
The biggest thing was, again, going back to that question of really shifting my mind around, first, I was selling $97 to who I thought needed what I was offering most, not who actually would value what I offered the most and who was already seeking it.
Yeah.
So I just skipped that whole like, oh my gosh, I have to teach everyone and I have to educate and I've got to spend years like teaching the entire market. I could just say, wait a minute, there's someone out there that will value what I have an ability to create in the world. For me, and this is complete transparency, I don't necessarily see a difference between $1,000 and $100,000. Energetically, to me, they're literally the same, right? Like you take someone like a Jeff Bezos, right? To him, spending $100,000 is like $1,000 for other people, or less, like 100, right? It's not that big of a deal, right? So I think for me, understanding that money and the numbers that we associate with it, money is just an energy, and the numbers are all perspective. It's all just relative perspective. And so when the major thing that happened was just seeking like who already is looking for this. Stop like trying to make it harder on yourself and trying to force and beat these people into wanting what you have and seeing the value in it. Even to this day, there are some who are like, yeah, I don't get it. And that's okay. They're just not my people right now. Maybe they will be someday.
Yeah.
I think from a mindset perspective on that, Makhosi, what's coming up for me, and this is probably relevant to people who are trying to get past that wall, you know, the metaphorical wall, is that when you're in that phase of like trying to convince people that your product is right, when you stop trying to convince, it then doesn't become about you. Because there's almost like this, it's an ego thing, and I'm sure you guys get this in personal development. It's an ego thing of, if we're trying to convince the people who aren't ready, it makes us feel good about ourselves. But when you leave that aside and go, hang on, I'm just here to serve the mission, again, it's getting out of your own way enough so that you just go, hang on, who are the people at that top level? Cut out the trying to convince part and just go and do the serving part. And it really saves so much time and energy.
Yeah. Gosh, you guys are on fire today. It's absolute gold. We've got 5 minutes left, so I want to ask two really important questions to end this off. And we're also going to have Makhosi and Eesha's contact details and websites and stuff there. So if you're interested in working with these incredible ladies, then by all means reach out to them, because I can vouch for them. They are on fire and incredible. First question for you both is, what is your Mars mission? What do you want to do here? What have you been put here to do? What is that big audacious goal?
Eesha, you want to go?
Yeah, okay. I was like, who's going to jump in first? Yeah, look, I'm so on fire with my mission. My mission is to literally awaken the planet by raising the vibration. And it comes down to my understanding of the planet, the vibrations planet. I know that some of you might be familiar with this concept of we're moving from a third dimensional reality to a fifth dimensional reality, however you want to frame that. The paradigm is absolutely shifting, and it just makes sense to work in this way to do it, because to create the mission requires a lot of finances. It requires it's $1 billion project to raise the frequency of the planet, if not more. And so for me, you know, I really just want to reach out to those people who are the Chanels in their industry, who are really doing those big things, because I know that if I can share my magic with them, then they'll go out to the rest of the world and ripple that out through to everyone. So right now, honestly, I am just on a big mission to call in the world creators. I'm actually like at the point where I'm ditching coaching altogether. I'm like, goodbye coaching, goodbye healing. Let's just get into creation space, because creation is how we create a new reality. I'm not interested in transforming one life. I'm interested in transforming the world. And I know that we can do that. It just takes the right group of people with the right mindset and the right mission. And together we can absolutely just blow this thing out of the water and just create a whole new world for us to live in and enjoy.
Yes. Makhosi. Oh.
Yes, Eesha. That was straight fire. I love it. Yes. So for me, right now, what I've really been seeing a need for and feeling called to is really creating 1,000+ spiritual, feminine entrepreneurs and helping them to establish their queendom, really done in alignment with divine will, versus like what Eesha was saying, versus the ego. There's so many people in the business space who have really just created an environment that's built on fulfilling those ego needs, where we're creating businesses for validation. And what the world actually needs is for those queens who are here, they're called to be leaders, to number one, accept that they're here to be wealthy and living luxuriously, and also in the most expansive expression of their genius possible, because that's actually what's going to create the ripple effect that we really want to see on this planet.
That's so good. Now, guys, I'm sure you're not going to be concerned if we go just a couple of minutes over. We've got just a little break coming up, but I'm going to eat into it to ask Makhosi and Eesha one last question, if you don't mind. And that question is, just in a sentence or two, What would be your best advice to people who know that they're best in the world, but they just haven't taken that leap yet? What would be your best piece of advice to get them to take the action?
If you know that you're the best and you're 100% sure and you have that confidence, it really is then just getting out of your own way. I think that's the biggest thing, because I do believe that people come onto this planet with a gift. And if you have that gift and you already know that you're excelling in that level, then it would be a disservice to not share that. So step out of your own way, get the right mindset, take the practical actions, and just go and do it because the world needs you.
Love that. Makhosi?
Yeah, I think the most impactful thing that you can do is really just recognize that, Kathryn, I'm going to say it, that you are the impact.
Yeah. Yes.
That you are the impact. So instead of looking at how can I go out there and do something, look at who you actually are and recognize. I will tell you, one of the secrets is a lot of what your genius and your magic is actually what you just kind of scoff off and are like, what? That was nothing. That was easy. Because we live in a society that says that the only thing that's valuable is what you really worked hard for and slaved for. And so you think that, that hardest class in college that you actually passed is your genius. That's not your genius. It was your fallback plan. Your fallback plan is actually what is your genius, and that you have the ability to activate others in. And so recognizing that all you really have to do is be yourself fully. I say to my clients all the time, like bring your full self to your life. Stop trying to compartmentalize and shrink yourself, and just open yourself up to what's possible. It doesn't mean that you maybe, a lot of people will say, oh, well, I don't only want to work with 100K clients because then how do I serve everyone? But like Eesha's saying, no, you can do both. And this is a both and universe. And by leveraging that connection and that work with those higher level clients, it really does make it so much easier for you to make your creations and your magic accessible to more in a much more impactful way.
Yes, I love that.
Oh, you guys are amazing. What an incredible, inspiring way to end this. Both of you, thank you for giving so generously today. You've been on such incredible journeys in your businesses, and you have so much more to do here. And I just want to say on behalf of everyone who's been listening today, I see the comments have just been, so generous back at you, just saying how incredibly grateful everyone is. Thank you for giving up your time, inspiring everyone and talking about your journey. And goodness gracious, guys, please jump on those calls and brainstorm your opportunity, because I want you to have the sort of impact that Makhosi and Eesha is talking about here. Jump into that room with our team, jump on the call, talk with us, follow what Makhosi and Eesha are doing, because let's get out there and get you to change the planet like these ladies are doing. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just really quick housekeeping. We've got about a 10-minute break now before Michelle Bridges hits the stage. So everyone go grab, I don't know, a wine, a champagne, a water, a coffee, whatever you need, whatever you do, but come back ready, because the awesome Michelle Bridges is going to come and give us a deep dive into her business. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Makhosi and Eesha. You are incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll see you real soon. Bye.
Bye.